Marvin Overshawn. He is a guy for the Dallas Cowboys, a linebacker, but switching positions to that quarterback of the defense, what we call the Mike position. He'll be controlling everything for new defensive coordinator Christian Parker. This is a guy when he's healthy, he is all over the football field, and he's a dynamic player.
All right, Overshawn wearing the green dot in Dallas. Brooke, can this retooled Cowboys defense make them a playoff contender?
I mean, it better. You don't use 2 first-round picks on defensive players and not hope that it makes you a playoff contender when that's the side of the ball that held them back a year ago. So I think, yes, it can. There's obviously still a huge void from losing Micah Parsons. This is going to be a pass rush by committee, but I think that Overshawn's going to be a huge part in making this defense better.
Okay, since we just talked about the Eagles here, Jordan, can the Cowboys pass Philly for the top of the NFC East?
I think they can, absolutely. This is a defense that was one of the worst in the NFL. If they can just be good, they don't have to be great. If they can just be good, that offense with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are so dynamic that a defense that just doesn't give up 400 yards every time anybody rolls the football out will get them to the playoffs, absolutely, especially with the question marks in Philly. A new offense, a new system for Jalen Hurts. No A.J. Brown, as J-Mac mentioned, that's big. Devontae Smith can be a number 1, but there's still questions there. So I think with a good defense, Cowboys can be a playoff team. And another guy to watch there, Caleb Downs, their highest draft pick on defense, is a day 1 impact guy, best player in all of college football. I think he makes a huge splash on that side of the ball. I think he'll be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year at the end of the year.
Last one here, Brooke, floor is yours.
Rookie Defensive Player of the Year.
Let's go back over to the offensive side of the ball, sorry, J-Mac, and let's take a look at Luther Burden III with the Chicago Bears. Courtney, you're very familiar with him. Ben Johnson said this offseason that he's buying stock and Luther Burden right now. Kind of feels like insider trading a little bit, but he's right. I mean, this guy has an opportunity with DJ Morgan to step up and get more targets. He had a huge impact late in the season. He was slow to start, but I don't think that learning curve is quite as steep this year because he's adjusted to the league. He had that X factor at Mizzou. I'm ready to see him really bring that to the NFL.
Yeah, his teammates call him a dog, say he's a playmaker out there. Might be a little competition for wide receiver 1 between him and Rome Odunze. But J-Mac, can the Bears hang on to the top spot in the NFC North?
I believe they can. It's going to be tough. The Minnesota Vikings, I'm looking at in the sense of their quarterback play was atrocious last year, and they still won 9 games. So getting whether it's Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy makes a huge improvement. I think that changes that division a little bit. Also, Detroit trying to have a bounce-back year. And then the Green Bay Packers, what are they going to be without Micah Parsons out there? Can they win a game without him? But I feel really good about the Chicago Bears team. A guy like Caleb Williams, his 2nd year in the system, he should understand a little bit more. Now he's working towards mastering it.
Yeah, DraftKings still has the Bears 3rd in the NFC North, even after winning the NFC North last year. Jordan, year 2 for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's system, year 3 overall. What areas do you think he needs to improve upon the most?
Well, everybody's complaining about the completion percentage. Why did it dip from his rookie year to year 1 under Ben Johnson? Well, it's because he went from probably the lowest yards per attempt his rookie year in the NFL to a team that wants to, in a system under Ben Johnson, wants to push the ball downfield. So expected the completion percentage to dip a little bit. What he's got to start to understand is he doesn't have to be a home run hitter every single time. If Ben Johnson dials up a play that is designed to hit downfield, if the coverage is there, you don't have to force it. You can check the ball down. You can find Luther Burden as a quick outlet, a guy that can make plays after the catch. So he's got to take a little bit of the home run hitter mentality off his shoulders, realize that he doesn't have to put a Superman cape on every single time. You can be efficient in this offense while still being explosive if you make smart decisions.
I just want to peel back the curtain here a little bit. When we were introducing this segment, said 8 days until some teams report. Brooke and I kind of let out a collective groan as NFL reporters. J-Mac over here kind of secretly snickering that he doesn't have to go to camp anymore. No, your struggle is now our struggle.
Every now and then. I'll show up to open practice.
We'll be out there sweating in the heat. No big deal.
Really nice.
All right, coming up. So long, sweet summer. We are just 8 days away from the start of training camp for some NFL teams. Rookies for the Seattle Seahawks reporting first July 17th. So it's time to see who are the breakout stars to watch with our NFL group. Jordan Rogers, Jason McCourty, Brooke Pryor back with us on Get Up. Jordan, get us started. Who is your breakout star to watch?
I'm going Makai Lemon. The Eagles traded up to get him at number 20. Why? Because he fills a weakness that this Eagles passing game has had for the last 2 years. Jalen Hurts has the lowest percentage of throws between the numbers of any quarterback by far in the NFL the last 2 years. They are a perimeter passing team that got stale. No more A.J. Brown means about 100 targets and 1,000 yards are up for grabs. Makai Lemon is a physical, dynamic slot receiver that fills that weakness. And I think he's going to have a massive year. I think he could have 1,000 yards in this new offense under Sean Mannion, attacking the middle of the field, which is what they need to do.
That'd be quite a Ricky statement, J-Mac. How does Makai Lemon fill the void left by A.J. Brown?
I love the Makai Lemon addition to this offense for everything Jordan was just talking about. The fact that he can be in that slot, attack the middle of the field. But when you're talking about replacing A.J. Brown, a true X-Y receiver, aligned on the outside, go to him in every single one-on-one situation, Makai Lemon's a different wide receiver. Although he fits scheme-wise, I think this void of A.J. Brown is huge. And they're going to need a guy like Devontae Smith to step up and be the guy to fill those shoes.
And we know that the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator, Brooke, in Sean Mannion. How do you think Makai Lemon fits into this Eagles offense and his team?
Well, I think it's really fitting that Howie Roseman said this offseason he wants a basketball team of wide receivers, somebody that can do a little bit of everything, which is what Makai Lemon can do. He's kind of a big three, small four. He can be everywhere. They need him to be versatile. But one thing that I want to point out, and I hate to pour cold water on this, but he did have a soft tissue injury and missed some of mandatory minicamp. Any missed time for a rookie is huge.
All right, J-Mac, your breakout player to watch is who?
Let's get
For it, right? We got Adam Schefter, we have Booger McFarland, we have Mike Tannenbaum here for the hour. It's good to see all of you. Let's talk about the defending champion Seahawks as we begin the show. They did lose a key piece, right? Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, who signed with the Chiefs in free agency. To help replace him, Seattle drafted former Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price in the first round. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak left to take the Raiders head coaching job, and there were some notable departures on the defensive side of the ball as well. We know how good that defense was. Adam, what more can you tell us about the adjustment and see this offseason after the departure specifically of Kubiak?
Well, it's a big adjustment. Again, we know they lost Kenneth Walker to the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Charbonnet, the other starting running back, is coming off a torn ACL. And Clint Kubiak, their former offensive coordinator, is now the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And to replace him, they reached out to the 49ers and hired the 49ers tight ends coach, Brian Fleury, to coach the Seahawks offense to replace Clint Kubiak. Now, Fleury comes with great reviews. They love him in Seattle. They had high regard for him in San Francisco. But he has never called games or plays at the NFL level before. So nobody knows exactly how that's going to work out. That's going to be an adjustment, and it's going to be an adjustment that's made without some key pieces at the running back position. And so the Seahawks are going to find out early on where they are offensively. But I think there's a question mark as to how this offense is going to perform earlier in the year until they can figure out how they get used to each other, how they replace the running backs, and how Brian Fleury steps in.
Adam, I had a chance to work with Brian Fleury in Miami, and I think he's going to do a great job. It may not happen overnight, and you already mentioned the running back position. Kenny McIntosh is somebody else that's coming off of an ACL injury, missed last year, so that puts pressure on Jadarian Price, their first-round pick out of Notre Dame. And typically, first-round running backs get on the field when they can prove that they're excellent in pass protection. If there were a couple of flaws in Sam Darnold's game last year, he had too many interceptions, and he was sacked too many times, 27. So Jadarian Price's pass protection is something that Seattle's going to have to watch closely in the preseason in terms of getting him on the field to help a very fluid situation at the running back position with Kenneth Walker now being gone.
So when you bring over somebody from San Francisco to run your offense, you can best believe the offense is going to major in the run game and play action pass. And that's what Sam Darnold excelled at last year, guys. So I'm not really concerned about the offense. Moreover, what about the defense that was dominant and Mike McDonald is still there? I think the defense is going to be outstanding. You still have Leonard Williams. You still have Ernest Jones. You still have Witherspoon back in the secondary. To me, this defense was playing as good as or better than anybody in the National Football League last year. And we had an opportunity to interview Mike McDonald on the set, Chris Berman and I, after the Super Bowl. And you could see his wheels still turning after the game about how their defense played. I can't wait to watch this defense because the guy in charge of the football team, the guy in charge of the defense, he is a mad scientist just from a defensive perspective. So as much as we give Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and all these offensive genius a lot of kudos for what they do on offense, Mike McDonald is the same way on defense. And let's not forget, this team won because they ran the football, they had timely play action pass from Sam Darnold, and that defense was the best in football when the season ended.
And Booger, it's not just his mind, but his disposition. When you speak to him at the owners' meetings in March, a lot of coaches are usually coming off the glow of a Super Bowl victory. I remember saying to him, "Do you feel the glow following you?" And he looked at me like I was crazy, like there was no glow. He said, "No, nothing's different. We're just here, get ready for another season." And he legitimately meant it. Like that is the way that he is wired. He was not thinking, "Boy, we won the Super Bowl. Boy, I've elevated my stature, my standing. Boy, my peers look at me in a different light." He was just there, taking it all in and thinking about getting ready for the 2026 season.
That's exactly what Seattle fans should love to hear. And by the way, that defense called themselves the dark side last year. I wonder what they'll change to this year. The NFC West is expected to be a gauntlet once again. Now, coming off a surprise run to the Super Bowl last season, the Patriots made some key moves this offseason. Let's turn our attention to the other team playing in the Super Bowl last season. They made changes, especially at wide receiver. They released Stephon Diggs, then added Romeo Doubs and A.J. Brown. After Drake May took an NFL record 21 sacks in the postseason, the Patriots addressed their offensive line as well. Former Patriots quarterback Tom Brady joined the New Heights podcast today, gave his thoughts on A.J. Brown's change of scenery.
AJ wanted to be involved. I covered a lot of those Eagles games, and that passing offense that's not what that team's known for. So now he's actually going to a team where they are more known for their passing offense. So there will be maybe a little more satisfaction from him from that standpoint.
Mike T. Brady seems to like the move to New England for A.J. Brown. What are your expectations for the offense this season there?
I totally agree. When you think about A.J. Brown, 56 touchdowns in 105 games, Laura, this is the rich getting richer. Drake May was an MVP finalist. And when you think about not only him, but Romeo Doubs, they're a perfect complement. If you think about the receiver position as a basketball team, A.J. Brown's a power forward, a center that'll go between the numbers. He'll be very productive in the red zone, certainly on third down, and Romeo Doubs is a great route runner. So I love the additions of both players. I think they complement one another. I think we'll see Doubs flourish as well, more outside the numbers as an elite route runner. But A.J. Brown will have a meaningful impact on this offense.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more with A.J. Brown. His ability to be that dominant number one, to give Drake May somebody to throw the football to. This was a very well-coached football team last year. The offensive line struggled to protect Drake May in the postseason, but other than that, they ran the football well, they made plays, they were very well coached. Hey, it's been documented, everything that's gone on in New England in the offseason. My concern for this team is really simple. How well coached are they going to be throughout the season with all the distractions that are going to come from everything that happened off the field? We don't want to talk about it, but it's a real thing. This is a young football team. This isn't a veteran football team that's got Tom Brady.